So in this video we're going to be doing the foldable for special cases of multi-step inequalities. They fall into two categories, all real numbers and no solution. If we turn to the inside, we see that it says if the statement is always true, then we know that the answer is all real numbers. And remember, all real numbers is written as that R with the double stem. Some examples of this would be as follows. If the variable cancels out and you're left with 5 is less than 6. If I would say 8 is greater than -1, or -9 is less than or equal to -9. Those would be examples of always true, and that would be all real numbers. With the examples at the bottom, we know if the statement is never true, then the answer is going to be no solution. And remember, no solution we draw with a circle with a line through it. Some examples of what that will look like. Or let's say 11 is less than 4 because 4 is not bigger than 11. Or if I say 5 is greater than 8, or 3 is less than or equal to -9, all of those are false, so we would say that there is no solution. So if we do example 1, we have 4x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 4x plus 2 minus 1. So the first thing we're going to do is use our steps that say don't call me after midnight, so I'm going to distribute. 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times positive 2 is plus 8. I then rewrite everything else. Now, when we did equations, some people started moving things before they finished the rest of the steps. What we want to do at this point is combine like terms. There are no like terms on the left, but on the right-hand side, I have plus 8 and minus 1. Well, 8 minus 1 gives me 7. So I'm going to put plus 7. And I bring down the 4x, and I bring down the 4x on the other side, plus 7. Now, this should look familiar, and we should start remembering what we did with equations and understanding that when things look the same, those are special cases. There is nothing smaller, so I'm just going to subtract 4x from both sides. This becomes 0. I'm left with 7 is greater than or equal to 7. That is a true statement. So because this is true, we know that the answer is all real numbers. And that's how we would solve example 1. What you don't want to do is start adding 1 to both sides or adding 1 to the same side. 8 and 1 are on the same side. That is how I get 7. I want to simplify that before I start moving anything. So if I look at example 2, I see that I have distribution again, and this distribution is more difficult because it has a negative sign. So I take that -3 and I times it by x, and I take that -3 and times it by -3, and that gives me plus 9. There is nothing else to distribute or simplify on the right-hand side. So I'm going to bring down everything that is on this left-hand side. Now that I did my distribution, I'm going to do my combining of like terms. So on the left, I see that 5x and minus 8x are like terms. 5 minus 8 gives me -3x. I did not touch the 1, so I rewrite it. I don't start moving it. I don't do anything else. One step at a time. Then I have minus 3x plus 9 because I didn't do anything else to that side. Now that I have combined my like terms, I am going to move my x's to the same side. But in this case, I can see that my x's are both minus 3. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. This becomes a 0. I'm left with 1 is less than. This becomes a 0, and I'm left with 9. 1 is less than 9. This statement is true. That means my answer is all real numbers. So remember, with special cases, they exist because your variables cancel out. If we look at example 3, again, we're going to start, this is a multi-step problem, we're going to start with distribution. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. I did not use the 2x, and I didn't change anything on this side. Don't start moving. After I distribute, my next step is combining like terms. So I'm going to combine like terms on the same side. I get 9x minus 2x. Well, 9 minus 2 is 7x. I did not use the 6, so I rewrite it. I don't start moving anything at this point. I rewrite the inequality, and I rewrite 7x plus 2 because there are no like terms on this side of the inequality. Now I have to move my variables to the same side. So I'm going to subtract 7x from each side. 7x minus 7x becomes 0. I have 6 is less than or equal to 7x minus 7x is 0, 2. 6 is not smaller than 2. This is a false statement. So I say that this is no, or this has rather, no solution. If I look at example 4, I am going to again start with my distribution, and I distribute 5 to x and I get 5x. I distribute 5 to negative 1 and I get minus 5. I haven't changed the inequality, and I rewrite what is on the right hand side. Now that I have distributed, I'm going to combine like terms. There are no like terms on the left, but on the right hand side I have 9x minus 4x. 9 minus 4 is 5x, and 5x plus 3 because I didn't use it, and I recopy what is on the other side, 5x minus 5. Now I'm going to move the smaller variable, but in this case there is no smaller variable.
Washington, Naranjo. Your right is here in the front. If you can come to the front, please. Washington, Naranjo. To the front, your right is here, please.
Sorry about that, but unfortunately I can't edit this video. Then I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. Because they're the same thing, I have to get them together. 5x minus 5x is 0. I'm left with minus 5 is greater than 3. Well, I know that that is false because minus 5, any negative number is automatically smaller than any positive number. So the answer for this would be no solution. Please check Canvas to see what page this will be glued onto. When you are finished, you will fold it in half as such, and you should cut it on the dotted line before you glue it into your notebook.